because he's from Philly, he's from the hard streets. You know, he raps, he plays drums, he DJs, he goes to clubs and stuff like that. You know, and it was just a really, really funny show, and it was, you know, the launch of Will Smith's career. But his mum was always mentioned, but his dad never was, because his dad apparently left when he was 3 years old. And in this episode, his dad comes back. It turns out he's a truck driver called Lou, and he comes back and he says, like, son, I've missed you, and I'm sorry that I left, and I don't know why I left. And they plan this big trip and stuff. And just as the trip's ready, Will's actually going to leave college and everything. He's going to just drop everything to go with his dad. And the whole episode, Uncle Phil has been saying, look, don't go with this guy. Just don't listen to what he's got to say. He's a liar. And Will doesn't want to hear it. And he buys his dad this present and stuff, and he's getting his stuff packed. And Uncle Phil actually catches Lou just leaving. And he's like, why are you leaving? And Lou's like, well, I'm a better man than you. No, you're a better man than me. I just can't stand to do this again. He's like, well, you can't leave. And Will walks in at that point. He's like, well, why are you leaving? Where are you going? He's like, it's cool. You can leave, it's fine, it's all right, I don't need you. And then calls him Lou instead of calling him Dad, and he's called him Dad the whole episode. And his dad walks out. But it's not that part, it's the part after. He leaves, and Uncle Phil says, look, I'm sorry, and I'm sorry what happened. And Will says, no, it's fine. You know, do you know what I'm going to do? What was it? He goes on about how, like, when I was, I learned how to play basketball, didn't I? He didn't see me shoot my first hoops, but I got pretty good, didn't I? And I got through school without him. I done pretty good, didn't I? And he goes through all these things that he's done in his life, and he says, I'm going to have kids of my own, and I'm going to teach him that something he can't teach me how to be a father. I'm going to be the best goddamn father that I can be. And just goes in this big rant, and then at the end he starts crying. He says, why don't he want me, man? And then Uncle Phil hugs him, and it's just an absolutely brilliant moment. And usually that's where the crowd would come in and clap and stuff, because it's filmed in front of a live studio audience, and the music would come in, nothing. It just, the credits come up and it cuts, and it's absolutely brilliant. So what a lot of people think about this episode, it'll bring tears to your eyes, even if your dad didn't leave when you were young. And things that people think, right? Number one, people think that Will Smith's actual dad in real life left him when he was young. That's not the truth. His mum and dad did split up, but they were much happier people when they split up, and he spent a lot of time with his mum, time with his dad. People seem to think that the camera, that Will done the whole "why don't he want me, man" line after the camera. He thought the cameras were cut. That's not true. The line was, it wasn't scripted, but they had a kind of idea of where it was going to go. And Will had said that is going to be the last line. I know this because I'm a massive Will Smith fan. I've watched multiple interviews with him, and this, what's that program called? It's the Screen Actors Guild program.
Inside the Actors Studio?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Actors Studio. It's, he's on that, and he speaks about his dad and his mum and how they had a divorce and how it did affect him, but it didn't affect him like that way. And they speak about this episode, and it's, if you watch the YouTube video, it's, I think the clip's about 6 minutes long. It is guaranteed to bring tears to your eyes, because it's an absolutely phenomenal piece of acting, and you can just see the absolute heartbreak in this guy's eyes. You just know that, you know, he's going to be a better dad than his dad ever was, and his dad's got no right to walk out on him. And it's just an absolutely beautiful moment to watch, but also heartbreaking at the same time. And I imagine if one of your parents did leave when you were young, it's going to be even worse for you.
Yeah,
and that's all I've got to say.
Yeah, it's an episode I've caught myself, and it is pretty powerful stuff. Right, okay, now, this is one that, of course, because on the page I was reading through it myself, and this one popped up a lot. Saxon, I'm sure you'd have an opinion on this one. It's Doctor Who Season 4, Episode 14, Journey's End, when the Doctor wipes Donna's memories. Let's start as we have been so far, Alan. Break it down for us.
Well, basically, Donna, right, okay, I've seen this episode really recently, and I should know exactly what happened, but I've seen a lot of Doctor Who episodes recently, and they're kind of all amalgamating into each other. But Donna takes the Doctor's essence, essentially. Am I right there?
Careful now with your wording, but yeah, no, essentially what happens is a meta-crisis in which wibbly wobbly timey wimey, but essentially the Doctor on Christmas Day gets his hand cut off. The hand ends up in a jar in Torchwood's possession. The Doctor gets the hand back from Torchwood, and it's in the TARDIS. Donna becomes trapped in the TARDIS along with this hand after the 10th Doctor has been shot through the heart with a Dalek. Are you still keeping up with me, listeners? And he's regenerating. So as soon as he regenerates enough to heal himself, he puts the rest of his regenerative energy into the hand, which is a DNA match, a receptacle, if you will, for the regeneration energy. So Donna's trapped in the TARDIS with this hand. She sees the hand is still glowing with regeneration energy. She touches the hand, and from that, a half-human, half-Time Lord Doctor grows, but also a part of the Time Lord DNA goes into Donna. A meta-crisis occurs, and she becomes the Dr. Donna. So she's still Donna, but she's got a little bit of extra Time Lordy madness going around in her brain. So she's now super smart. She can fly the TARDIS. She knows all the things that the Doctor knows. But of course, it's too much for a human brain. It burns out her mind, and unless she forgets it all, she's going to die. So the Doctor steps in and erases her brain. So anything that she's encountered with the Doctor, all the way back to the Runaway Bride up until Journey's End, is completely erased from her brain, and she's left the rough, clumsy, loudmouth Donna Noble she was before she met the Doctor.
Perfect, Saxon. Couldn't have said it better.
I don't know if that's a compliment or not. I'm going to choose to take it as a compliment. Because
no, it's a compliment. I couldn't have said it better myself. Like I can remember the episodes, and when I wrote this weeks and weeks ago. I remember exactly what happened, and the whole we were going to be together forever. You know, she'd planned to be the Doctor's companion forever and ever because she loved that. I mean, I don't think there's been a companion that loved travelling with the Doctor as much as Donna did.
Yeah, because she was actually a proper mate with the Doctor. Because especially with the revived series with Rose and Martha, they fell in love with him. And they were going about, the Doctor was showing them things like Shakespeare and witches and Judoon Platoon upon the moon and all this weird mental stuff and nurses who were actually anthropomorphic cats who were also nuns. Mad stuff. And they were busy going, making all these lovey eyes at the Doctor. And, at least with Donna, whenever she came along for the ride, it was to experience the adventure. Mm-hmm. I mean, with the Ood episode, she was crying tears because she was listening to this Ood song of sadness, of captivity. She actually got properly dressed up to meet Agatha Christie in the 1940s, or the 1930s, should I say. Oh, almost got lynched by Doctor Who fans. But, she really enjoyed the adventures with the Doctor instead of just going, "Ooh, Doctor," So I think that's what made her such a good companion. We haven't had a companion like that before. We haven't had a companion like that since in the revived series, I think.
I've said this before, it's controversial. I've said it to fans, I've said it to casual fans, and I usually get flack for it. Donna is my favourite companion since the new series started.
Why would you get flack for that?
So many people. Because
Why?
She's annoying and irritating.
No, she's not. She was annoying and irritating at the start. Yeah. But that's part of her journey.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it even sadder whenever she reverts back to that annoying, whiny character.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's so funny as well because she's one of the only companions that really puts the Doctor in his place. She's not scared to say, like, what you playing at? Don't do that.
Yeah.
There's the Pompeii episode as well, which, funnily enough, stars Peter Capaldi and Karen Gillan, where she actually challenges the Doctor. She says, "Why can't we change it? Why can't we save these people?"
Yeah.
And just that confrontation where he leaves the family behind and Donna's just at the TARDIS saying, "Go back and just save them. Save one, please."
Yeah.
I mean, show me another companion that's done that.
Yeah.
Show me another companion who's genuinely challenged the Doctor on that level.
Yeah, no, she was a great character, and because I just got to the point where I was sick of the companions looking longingly at the Doctor.
Yeah.
I got tired of that, and she didn't do that. And of course, there was the reintroduction of her where they did the whole thing where they saw each other from through the two windows. And it's just this amazing sort of dialogue where they don't speak.
The kind of sign language.
And it's just incredible. It's just fantastic.
And then halfway through they look over and they realise the bad guy is actually looking at them as watching them communicate. It's so funny.
Yeah. But yeah, no, Donna, I loved Donna from the second she came in, even as the irritating character, because I saw the potential in her. I knew that they were going to do more with her than that.
Yeah.
And yeah, that to me, now I wasn't near crying, but it was an emotional moment because you knew that the character.
But ultimately, though, bit of a cop-out.
Yeah.
Because it is just another reboot, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's
and wasn't that another one of the ones where Moffat sort of said, or was it Moffat or
Russell T. Davies?
Russell T. Davies said, "Oh, yeah, she's going to die. It's going to be a really bad ending.
Yeah, and you had one of the Daleks who'd now become mentally telepathic and psychic, going, "One of your companions will die, Doctor." Which is exactly how it would have sounded had it been in the classic series. But no, it actually sounds a lot more menacing than that, and I'll shut up now. But yeah, so it was a major cop-out, and another Russell T Davies reset button. Yeah.
Now, I've not got to the episode yet of... I've heard a lot about the Angels Take Manhattan.
Yeah.
No, I've heard loads and loads about this, and I've only just started watching the...
Right. Moving on.
Okay, moving on. I don't even know what even happened. I'm worried.
I just went a bit mental about Angel Sick Manhattan.
Anyway,
moving on.
He had an episode.
I've not watched that, and that came up quite a lot. And I'd say probably the only reason it's not in this list is I was unwilling to watch it because I've not seen it yet.
It's, you know what? It's terrible. It's one of the worst.
It's really,
episodes
really
of Doctor
annoying.
Who.
And it rips off Ghostbusters 2 as well.
Yeah.
Stuff it.
And it makes no sense.
No, it doesn't.
It
and
makes no sense.
It's just it's such a stupid way for them to leave. They should have just chose to leave. Why couldn't they have just chosen? Why does no companion ever go, do you know what? It's been fun, but I want to make a solid... And especially with Amy, because she's with Rory. Why don't the two of them... And it's so clearly set up in the first couple of episodes that like the Doctor's kind of weaning himself away from the pawns.
Yeah.
And they're kind of weaning themselves away from him. And at the end of each adventure, they say, I want to go home. They don't say, what's next? Like they used to. They always say, can we go home for a while? Why couldn't, at the end of Angel Sick Manhattan, they saved Rory, right?
Remember, spoilers here, because...
I'm being as vague as I can.
Yeah.
So, they save Rory. At that point, why can't Amy and Rory just go, do you know what? We've put ourselves at such risk, at such danger. We know what happens to your former companions. That's it, we're done. Can you just leave us home? That'll be it. At the end of the day, why couldn't they have just left in that Series 6 episode where they supposedly leave? Do the one with the hotel, the God Complex?
Mm-hmm.
And he gets them a house and the car, and he just leaves in there. And it's almost like, well, that's it.
Yeah.
Like, at what point did they come back? Because, I mean, we had the Doctor, the Widow, and the Wardrobe, and he shows up at their front door on Christmas Day, and he's got the tear in his eye. Like, why does that happen? Why doesn't he not just move on and find more companions?
Yeah, no, I know. I agree with you. Right, okay, number 2. This is one that, still to this day, stays with me.
Everyone, I think, shell-shocked by this, aren't they?
Yeah, this to this day stays with me. And it's not sad because he doesn't die, but it's something that...
technically, he does, in a way.
Well, okay, for 6 years, for Season 5, Episode 22, Quantum Leap Mirror Image, for 5 years, 6 years, we went on the trip with Dr. Sam Beckett. And the whole thing, right from day one, was... each time hoping the next leap will be
his leap home.
And the idea was always that Sam would get home. But of course, at the end, we realised that Dr. Sam Beckett never returned home. Talk to us, Al.
Well, I've watched this episode multiple times. I'm a massive Quantum Leap fan. I'm a massive Scott Bakula fan. It's one of my dreams to go to a con that he's at and just go and meet the guy. I'd love to just I'd love to get an interview with him. That'd be amazing. Get him on the show.
We would like that
Mark.
too.
Right. Okay. Let's get him. Let's get Scott Bakula. Let's go out of our way to get his agent.
I'm for it.
So that's the aim. The aim is to get Scott Bakula on the show.
Yeah. Actually, to be honest with you, he's always been one of the top 5 people I like on here. Jason Statham's another one. Timothy Dalton.
Timothy Dalton, yes, please. The voice of Mr. Pricklepants from Toy Story 3. Sorry, did I say that? I meant to say James Bond. Yes, one of the best James Bonds ever. I'll shut up now.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Anyway, so talk to us about Sam Beckett.
Right, so this episode is a very, very, very strange episode. You need to watch it multiple times, and I've actually read a thesis on it. Mm-hmm. Basically, Sam has always leaped into other people. He leaps into, I suppose, what you would call their soul. He leaps into their body and their soul, and he becomes them. But he doesn't have any of their memories. He has his memories, and his companion Al, who appears to him as a hologram that's in his head, comes to him and tells him all that he really needs to know about this person. So every time he looks in the mirror, he doesn't see himself, he sees this other person, which is kind of creepy considering that he's probably looked in the mirror for